Good, excuse me. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Backpacktrader training room for Tuesday, October 24th, 2023. Please note the required risk disclosure. This room is for educational and information purposes only. It is not to be considered individual financial advice. Trading of this type carries substantial risks and should only be attempted with funds you can afford to do without. All right. Get that so it doesn't go away on us. All right. Crude oil getting positive on its third trade. Still, actually, we've gotten both targets, so that has completed. 15 and 24 for 39, and we were down 4 going into that trade, so 35 ticks on the morning on crude. Looks like unleaded is having a very successful trade here. Trailing at just above target 1 at the moment. Targets 1 and 2 already achieved. Potential get in sync on the YM. Entry at 218. Possible in another minute and 10 seconds. Soybeans also with a get in sync. 1307 and a quarter for the get in sync short. All right. Good morning, Miles.
News alert.
And we have flash manufacturing PMI coming out at 9:45, it looks like. That seems to be a red label. Market is open. 9 seconds we were up here, so I would say that's a no trade. Too fast to catch. Oh wow. Crude and unleaded taking a solid down move. Too fast to catch on the Russell, micro Russell. No trade there. So what happened on and soybeans too fast, so moves too quick this morning. Pound Aussie triggering into a long trade. Crude is done and positive. Unleaded, this trade definitely going to get you positive. and unleaded stopping out. Waiting for new trades on most things. Crude and unleaded. Crude mini session positive, unleaded definitely positive on its session as well. So we will put the unleaded, I would say most likely this long get in sync setup 27 seconds before the hour, but down below the entry at 10 seconds, so I'm guessing that probably is a no trade. If so, it's a full loss of 96 ticks. Then you get a short that goes possible stop and reverse at 21. And EMA is at 20. I'd probably take that up to 20, 23 maybe, or take it up to 22. But the highest we got was 18, so we actually stayed in this trade up here. Didn't have to take this one, so we picked up targets 1 and 2 there, and we're still trailing. I actually looked, well, no, that's not true. Okay, that would have taken us out of the trade right there, but we definitely should be positive on that. We got 68 ticks on target 2. And I'd say 29.46 from 84. Another 4, yeah, so they were definitely positive on that trade as well. New trade on the YM, 30 short at 33.09. Possibility. So let's move on to micro NQ. Set up right on our start time. Let's see how fast that was. 3, 7, 10. Okay, there's 10 seconds. Have to take a look at that one. Looks like it's a break even at best. So actually, and that's a stop out. YM with a long trade. Entry at 334 and give us another chance to get in it. And the Russell with a short definitely got in and stopped and reversed to long at 94.8. for almost full loss. Big trade though with the wick, and we're starting to trail 93.9 for the stop. Okay. How big is our 2.5? A pretty big loss too. Normal trade is 2.1. I would say not quite big enough to move the target, but there is money management, so our stop comes to 94.9. I am pulling back now. And now we have a stop and reverse short. That's going to be at 312. Yep. That's triggered in. So we're short on the YM from 312. YM short. Okay, we have a long. We're gonna have to look at trades on the micro NQ to see if they were valid. And we have our first trade of the morning, 0550, 05.5 on soybeans. Definitely time to get into that. Small trade, money management at 1307 flat. So we'll have two positions coming off at target 2. Nothing at target 1, it's too small. And the Russell giving us a break-even stop out. And now a short. I'll have to look at that one for speed. There's another break even on a big trade. That was 2.6 to target 1. Just a break even. loss and 2 break-evens on the micro Russell. Break even. Probably a no trade on the short. And we'll have to look at the long. It would be a break even at this point. Soybeans in the long trade, and the YM successful on the short. That looks like it's going to be sufficient to get us positive. So we'll watch for the ending of this trade. Current stop at 287. And another short on the micro Russell. Definitely in this. Having just pulled back, and this is looking like it may be loss number 2, bouncing off the 200 EMA. Just, you can see the purple EMA line, or that dark magenta EMA line, just coming up at the bottom of the screen, and we do stop out. So 2 losses, 2 break-evens.
News alert.
Soybeans taking heat, and our trailer on the YM all the way down to 241, beyond target 4. Definitely going to get us positive. And that is a loss, full loss on the micro NQ. So two break evens and a loss. And Pound Aussie stopping out for a full loss on its trade. Stop and reverse at 02.5 on soybeans. Just one tick from the stop, but still surviving at the moment. And another loss on the Russell. Russell having difficulties this morning. I think that's the 3rd loss. Yes, so that ends our session on the Russell. YM stopping out at 212 to complete that. Finding support at the 200 EMA, or just below it, it looks like. Now it's going to have to push up through the 50 to go higher. And It seems to be reluctant to do that, at least on the first try. So we're now kind of in a squeeze coming here. 50 pinching down into the 200, and price in between the two. And a potential short, and we're done there on the YM. And another trade I got to look at. Micro NQ is giving us nothing but trades we're going to have to look at the timing to see if we could get in, and that's on the 12-point brick, 3-point offset. About 11 minutes to our 10 a.m. crude mini session. Soybeans back above its original entry. And looks like it canceled the short trade. Oh, yeah, I was going to say, why did it cancel? But hybrid mode stopped it because the trend indicator went positive, so its trend indicator's blue. So the stop and reverse is off the table. And that's a second close above the balance line, so the stop and reverse is definitely canceled. A signal line on counterpunch, that is. Getting within a tick of money management at 307. We got the 306 3/4. And short on Micro NQ. That's a somewhat larger than normal trade. $47.25 to target 2. Target 1's not quite big enough to pull the target back. And money management on soybeans. So stop comes to, come back to the original entry there. The stop comes to 305 3/4. Looking for 307 3/4 for 2 positions. And that is worth 9 ticks per. Stop and reverse. Oops. I wanted to back there on the entry at 88 1/4. EMA at 88 a little over 3/4. That's actually about 89. Yeah, that's 89. So I would take that to 89 1/4. But we're definitely in it. Actually 89 1/2. That's where I'd put that. In the trade, whichever adjustment you used. And target 2 on soybeans. 18 ticks in hand. Target 3 is at 08 1/2, and there it is. So 18 and 12 is 30 ticks, and we are trailing now at. Or actually, we're still at the break-even stop at 05.75. So far, the signal line is not quite high enough to start moving the trailer yet. But that'll be a one and done on soybeans. Soybeans, by the way, trading in the January contract now, January 24. Volume transitioned on Monday. Five minutes to the crude mini session. Partial loss on the micro NQ short. Long has triggered in and is in process. Stop at 772 3/4. Yeah, I'm using CPT for soybeans, five tick or 1.25 point momentum bar on TradeStation, 5 tick range bar on NinjaTrader. And 30 ticks in hand so far is already about $350. I'm sorry, 375. 32 ticks would be 400. And money management on the micro NQ trade. Stop to 788 and a half. Actually, bring that stop up to, I said 89 and a half. Yeah, bring the stop up to 89 3/4. And target 2. So winner number 1 on the micro NQ. Soybean still long. It's actually hit the target 3 exactly twice. Also a possibility you haven't gotten filled if you're trading it. And trailing on micro NQ, 804 flat.
News alert.
That's a yellow label or an orange label report. And stopping out, looks like we did get target 3. Stopping out on the micro NQ at 809 1/4 or 809 and a half. 809 and a half. Oh, wait a minute. That's a loss. That's a loss. We actually shouldn't have taken the long on the micro NQ. That was, our third loss was the stop and reverse would have been just an exit. So the micro NQ is done. Soybean still in the long trade. Stop still sitting at 05 3/4. And we are in the 10 a.m. crude mini session. Fairly straightforward trade plan on soybeans. It's, as I said, the 1.5 or 1 1/4 point range bar or momentum bar for TradeStation. 6 tick minimum to trail or to break even or trail. 6 tick minimum for target as well. which is why we pushed to the first position up to target 2 on this trade. So looking for trades on micro crude, or on the crude chart. Still trailing on soybeans. And we can take more trades on the pound Aussie. Shouldn't be any major changes. That's the only thing I can think of. Keep an eye on things. Pull it up and see. And a 2-tick offset. Well, and it's possible too that, see what that trade looked like. Okay, there are the exhaustion dots. Yeah, it looks like that one was real close to not showing the exhaustion dots. So it's very possible that, you know, just a little bit of difference in the data would not give you that trade. Let's see. I've got this. This is my first trade. Now you got three closes higher than this, so yeah, that should be that's not an issue. I mean, yeah, you definitely yeah, that's a solid trade. It should be there. And while we were talking about that, we did get a short on crude. And soybean stopping out at the break-even stop. So 31 ticks on the morning, at least for my chart. You obviously have to trade your own charts. $387.50 net on all four positions. So we'll see where the crude chart goes for this 10 a.m. mini session, and then I think we'll call it a morning. And a potential stop and reverse on crude. $93, it looks like. Yep. Triggered in unadjusted, so we will maintain that trade as a valid trade unless it hits its stop. Or triggers into a new short. But for the moment, we're still short. Crude trying to break down. We need to get down below that swing level to have a good chance for this trade. Looks like got a swing low at 84.74. We need to break that. 84.72 is the stop on the plotted stop on that stop and reverse. So if it gets down to there, we'll cancel the stop and reverse. Oh, I bet I know what, Neil, I see what it very well may be. If you have your squeeze zone filter on and you're not showing GIS setups, it's very possible that's a filtered trade, because it looks like on my chart the entry is one tick above the 50 EMA, which makes it a valid trade. If it were on or below the 50 EMA, it would be filtered by the chop filter rather, not the squeeze. Because notice we're in a chop zone right here. But since the setup ended up being just above the 50, it was valid. So that's very likely where the difference is. If you didn't get the trade at all, check to see if you got get in sync GIS trades turned on, so they'll show up as gray. That gives you a lot of information a lot of times. But that actually and looks like we stopped and reversed to long. Came almost down to the stop and then went forward. And target one. So what we lost 84 to 93. We lost 18 ticks. Target one was worth 13. So we're down 5. And our stop is at 94. And target 2. Target 2 worth 21, so net of plus 16 on the day. And that completes our crude 10 a.m. mini session. So crude getting positive on 2 mini sessions. YM going one and done. Soybeans going one and done. Unleaded getting positive on one or two trades. I'll pull this soybeans up for Neil. Yeah, see, my entry is at 05 and a half, and EMA is 0548. So, so just fractionally above, but that was enough to make it a valid trade. Fractionally below with the chop filter on would have made it a filtered out trade. All right. All right, $84.99 for the stop on crude if you're running a trailer. Not seeing much of any. Looks like we may be getting a pullback here on the pound Aussie. Pretty much in a downtrend this morning. Setting new session low at 91.44.4. I believe your filters are manual on CPX, Neil. So that wouldn't be it, but it's quite possible. I don't know. That's if you don't have the filters. That should be a valid trade without the filters. Let's see, where did this 0463 05? Yeah, it's almost a full point, 7/8 of a point above the signal line. Because there really isn't any difference in the setup on CPX versus CPT. Or, yeah. You should have the same setups. The only difference would be whether or not because you have to, if I remember correctly, CPX does not have you can't actually plot with the filters, so it's going to give you the setup, and you have to see whether it's if you're going to use the chop filter, you have to implement that manually. So it should have given you the setup then in the CPX. Did you get the exhaustion dots there, Neil? So that is, the exhaustion dots are approximately 9:38:12 Eastern, so 8:38:12 exchange time. traded out of Chicago. $838.12, $39.10, $39.35. Should be your exhaustion dots. And then the setup bar was actually at 40.32. All right, so do you have a close above the signal line then within the next few bars? And did you get the potential purple short? That potential stop and reverse there that we didn't end up getting into. Right there. There's two sets back. There's one set back, so it's in between the two. So that definitely is set up for a purple trade. Okay, now 843. Interesting. 843, I'm closing below. 842.13, I've got to close above. 840.32, 840.32 is where my setup is. Because I am actually starting to come down to the short setup at 843. So it looks like it may be different data. I'm wondering if the difference is that I'm using Globex data and TradeStation is using Clearport. It looks like it's just a difference in the chart itself. Since you didn't have that one, did you get the long at 49.54 here? It's showing as that's an add-on from my system because I was already in the long, the purple long. Yeah, my setup is at 40.32. That's interesting. 5302. Okay, that's possible. You're looking at this 1 bar later. And had to get another tick higher to set up. So that's a possibility. That's probably the same trade, but it's on the next bar. Let's see, how many bars that could be. Max setup bars is 4, so that's default. Yeah, it's basically default other than the 6 tick minimum for break even. And the trade plan is, take minimum target of 6 ticks. And 6 ticks to trail. Now it looks like it's just difference in the charts, but I'm yeah, this is the plan we've used for years, and I'm running exactly the same setup on it. I'm just running I'm not doing it as a one and done in the room. I'm doing it as a 5 trade max. That's correct. That's what I was just looking at. So I was just looking to see if it was more than a 4 bar setup. But yeah, even if you're running a bar later, you should have gotten a setup on this up bar that I have at 42.13. I've got the down bar at 43.07. I don't know. That's just a matter of where the bars are closing. Okay, yeah, I see it's possible that you went straight down from, well, no. You still should have gotten it on the earlier bar, but I don't understand all of this that I'm seeing, but I will. Yeah, this soybeans plan has been around for quite a while. Just differences in the data between when one of the things could be how far back are you looking on your data? Since it's a range bar, we are a bit dependent on how far back we're looking. I'm looking 8 days back. Okay, that could be a difference because that'll change the boundaries of the range bars a little bit. Now you don't need 120 days just to trade it. 8 or 10 days is all you need, and that doesn't put as much strain on the computer either. Because it looks to me like you're a tick or two. Your ranges are a tick or so higher than, setting up a tick or so higher than mine. And in that case, I think if your range actually ended at 0650, then you probably did get a down bar there. How much? You said you got the bar at 843, so that that's the bar you should have gotten a setup on. And then looks like you got the 53 bar. But yeah, that looks like it's just the difference in where the ranges are. And that's one of the reasons we say trade your charts. Okay, that add-on is going to be this trade right here. That's not an add-on because I stopped out of the purple trade here. But you would have been in this long trade as a primary, and so that would have been an add-on. So yeah, charts are fairly close. And that's just one of those illustrations of it doesn't take but just a few ticks to change the look of the chart. One or two ticks is all it takes. All right, folks. I am going to call it a morning. Still nothing on the pound Aussie, so that's the only thing. Yeah, but as I say, it'll look identical, but then all it takes is one tick in a particular time, and if it pivots at that one tick, then that'll make the chart look completely different. And I think that may be what happened here. Oh, Neil, are you on the January contract? Or are you on the November contract? Okay. Good. All right. Yeah, that's what should be January, and that's what I'm charting as well, is January. Yeah, I still don't understand why it didn't show up a trade off of this. Now, if it gave you a trade, say about, now you got this one at, you said 08, and up there. But I still would have expected it. But if it was looking to get to 50, and this pivoted and turned back the other way, that's why you didn't get the setup on that one. If you were running just a bar behind me, that would explain why you didn't get the setup. All right, well, it's one of the mysteries of data. All right, folks. It looks like it's down to me. Looks like it's probably down to Neil and Miles. No problem. So I will see everybody tomorrow morning at 9:30. We do have our regular crude inventory session at 10:30 tomorrow. Not a holiday week, or not a Monday holiday. So we will have a regular 10:30 Wednesday crude oil inventory session. And we will see everybody tomorrow morning. Everyone have a good day.